Binghamton, New York, for the 11th round of the 2002 AMA Chevy Trucks U.S. Motocross Championships. While Ricky Carmichael has already wrapped up the 250 outdoor motocross title, he is still going for the perfect season, and it's going to be a tough one today in Binghamton because it rained all day Saturday. I'm your host, Davey Coombs. Joining me is former champion David Bailey and Cameron Steele, and right there may be the secret to Carmichael's success coming out in a Gatorade bottle.
Either that or he's drinking race gas.
David, Carmichael's been perfect all year long. Can he keep it going to the end of the season?
I don't see any reason why not. His confidence is at a level that we've never seen in this sport. He just expects to win, and like Jeff Stanton said in the last show, the races are actually easy for him because during the week he works so hard.
Ricky is closing in on Bob Hanna's all-time record for 250 national wins in AMA motocross. Hanna set that record all the way back in 1985. It stood for 17 years, but today it could become shared by Ricky Carmichael. Now, let's go to Cameron Steele.
Well, it's time for the Suzuki Fast Lap. Normally my favorite time of any national, but since I decided to go out and break my wrist, I'm not going to be able to take you out on the Sobe Suzuki. Hey, this bike, it's getting close to be given away. Here at Broome, Tioga, and next week at Steel City, your last chance to enter. They're actually going to be giving it away next week. Should be a lot of fun. I'm bummed I'm not going to be able to go out and beat up on it a little bit more. Here at Broome, Tioga, the track was getting rained on. It was muddy. It was so nasty they canceled Saturday practice. The guys got to see the track for the first time today on Sunday, and I'll tell you, it was so rutted out, it was really crazy. When we get to race time, the track's going to look a lot nicer, but what we did is we took YSA Fly Racing Ted Campbell out on his Suzuki to show you what the track looked like during practice. It was gnarly and it was rough, so let's jump on board. Getting on board with Ted, as you can see, the dirt's soft, a lot of different lines. You got to choose a line. You really got to stick with it. And not only that, you got to make sure you're in it completely. Whoa, you can see his front wheel climbed out of the line, cross-rutted, almost threw him over the bars. The track's definitely beat up right now, lots of ruts. By the afternoon, I guarantee it's going to get a little better. You got to pick your line and stick with it. And look at this. You got to make sure that someone's not already in your line. People crashing all over the place. It's rough, it's gnarly, and it's rutted. And that's going to do it for your Suzuki Fast Lap.
David, how's this track changed since you were racing here?
Well, the layout is slightly different, but it's the topsoil that they brought in. It's not nearly as rocky as it was when I raced. It used to be pretty dry and dusty, and they've just done an excellent job this weekend to clear off all the mud and make good conditions right now.
Taking a look at our Suzuki starting lineup, of course, Ricky Carmichael is at the top of the field. A perfect season so far, 500 points. But guys like Tim Ferry, Ezra Luss, Sebastian Tortelli, Mike LaRocco, they want to stop Carmichael, and they are running out of time. Also, keep an eye on Canadian riders, John Sebastian Wall and Blair Morgan, taking a week off from the Canadian Nationals. And right there, the gate drops very quickly on us, right up the inside. You saw Carmichael into the sharp right-hander hairpin, and it looks like Carmichael already out front and a couple Hondas right behind him. Oh, and a big crash in the first turn. And it looks like Nick Way is in there, and Sebastian Tortelli, once again, number 13 with some bad luck, down on the start.
Can't believe that it keeps happening to Tortelli. He just has radar for that kind of stuff. Nick Way went right over the handlebars, and Ricky on this 250 keeps beating all those four-strokes at the first corner. And it really surprised me here today, Davey, because they plowed that starting line very deep.
There you see Nathan Ramsey in second on the 450 Honda, and then it is Kyle Lewis and John Dowd on the big 520 KTM coming through the Supercross section. Carmichael out front. You can see where Tom Hurd and his crew have scraped a lot of mud off to the side, and it's got a good fast line, and Carmichael's on it already. Whoa, and he almost went off it there.
He landed a little short in all that deep mud. Got thrown forward. The track is in excellent condition. Yesterday it was terrible. I wouldn't have thought it would be looking this good so early in the day.
You see how important a good start is out there. One solid line up on the top. You see Carmichael trying to stay out of the soft stuff. Make a fast line through Binghamton. Takes a look over his shoulder. Who in the world would he be looking for?
Just wondering where everyone is, just to know who his competition might be, should he make a few more mistakes.
Check out that graphic. Led 293 out of 306 laps at this point. And he's getting ready to put another one in the books.
You know, today the lines here really matter, and you can see the difference when they went in that section before where Carmichael squared it from the outside, Ramsey went down the middle, and it's so rough and rutted in a good way that really forces the rider to think. You can make up or lose a lot of time just by choosing the right or wrong line.
Carmichael, of course, 20 moto wins in a row. He's looking for 21, and these are the guys that got to stop him. Nathan Ramsey in second, and there you see Ezra Lusk has moved into third on the Chevy Trucks Kawasaki. Carmichael goes through the picture, and there you heard the crowd roar. He did that downhill triple. We missed it there with the camera. Nathan Ramsey on the double. Lusk in third, Lewis in fourth. And you see Carmichael at the top of the hill. He's already getting away.
Well, it didn't look that good in the first half a lap. He was making some mistakes. It looked like he hadn't seen the track in a while, even though they did take a lap around it. And things weren't coming together, but sometimes you look at the track like that and see the best riders struggling, then you go out there yourself and realize, man, no wonder they're struggling. It's really tricky. Another look at the whole shot. Ricky coming out of there perfect, beating those four strokes. All four strokes surrounding him. Lusk with a pretty good start. You can see that pile up. Nick Way right over the handlebars.
It looked like Clark Stiles caught the back wheel of Sean Hamlin there and kind of started that whole thing.
Walkridge just going by.
Now here's Carmichael off the start. Look at that. Power to the ground immediately on the concrete start.
He hooks up perfect, looks over at Lusk like, hey, that used to be my bike.
And you used to start on the inside here, didn't you?
Yeah, the last time I raced there, I started on the inside. I got both hole shots, and one year I started on the inside, and Brock Glover cut me off a little bit. I went out into the grass, got even better traction, and still beat him to the corner. So I've had pretty good luck with starts at Binghamton.
Carmichael down the big hill into the infield. That's where in the past we've seen guys like, in fact, Sebastian Tortelli has crashed there before, and he's already out, probably a result of that first turn crash.
Well, you can see the subframe just underneath the seat back there is bent.
Tough break for Tortelli and one of his last rides for Honda.
Sounds like he's going to need a pipe. That bike is toast.
We'll be back to Broome Tioga Raceway in a moment.
The biggest names in motocross and off-road racing have an even bigger name under them. Suzuki. Do you want to be the next big name? Get on a Suzuki RM or DRZ today. Buy a new Suzuki motocross or off-road bike for 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest. Ride for free through March 2003.
This is Silverado Heavy Duty. The most powerful heavy-duty pickup you can get. Silverado Heavy Duty. More truck from Chevy.
Nasty cool. Cool to the core.
Without permission, you guys can't do anything.
No.
Introducing Beg, Borrow, and Deal, the new reality game show from ESPN.
I'm nobody, so I want to become somebody.
I will get on my knees for you.
The begging begins Tuesday, September 17th, 8 p.m. on ESPN.
Speed World's presentation of AMA Motocross is brought to you by Suzuki, maker of innovative motorcycles and all-terrain vehicles. And by Honda, the company that defines performance in motorcycles, ATVs, and scooters. Honda, performance first. And speaking of Honda, there you see Sebastian Tortelli still having his bike worked on. He's involved in the big first turn crash. Knocked him out of the first moto here at Broome Tioga. And there's Tim Ferry, second place in the standings, and he is on the side of the track having a hard time getting his big Yamaha restart. You see the mud there going out the side of the track. Tim Ferry, one of the riders most likely to challenge Ricky Carmichael here, but he's not going to catch him from that far back. And now back up to the battle for fourth. Privateer Kyle Lewis leading the big Honda of Mike LaRocco and John Dowd behind them in sixth. And Lewis hasn't been putting in some very good rides since he got that third at Washougal, David.
No, he struggled just a little bit. And sometimes you get that good finish, and then you expect a little bit more out of yourself, maybe too much, and you go out there and try a little bit too hard, and it doesn't really come together. And if you ease off just a little bit, it all starts to flow again.
Coming down the big hill, we've seen a lot of riders crash over the years coming down through those braking bumps. Greg Albertine and Sebastian Tortelli come to mind. And Lewis continues to lead Lorocco, and you can see right there what's happening. You get out of that main line, and you lose time.
Yeah, and you can see the difference. Look how clean that Lewis is. He's all white still. Lorocco is over there just getting showered with mud and rock.
Down on the inside, Lorocco getting a little aggressive, pushes him out, put a clean pass. And there you see Lewis make a mistake, and that might open the door for Dowd. No, Dowd can't get by, so Lorocco moves into fourth. Lewis back to fifth. Dowd holds on to sixth.
So it's like I was talking about earlier. You see these guys, these are the best riders in the world, and they're looking a little bit shaky here and there, like amateurs at times. It's because the track is so difficult. This dirt is really spongy, and every time you let off the power, it's almost like you put on the brakes. So you have to allow for that, set up your suspension different, and it looks to me like these guys are still adjusting to it during this race.
And you can see a little bit of dust kick up right there. A very dynamic track here at Broome Tioga, and also a massive turnout. More than 18,000 fans have come out to watch the race. And they wouldn't have been here yesterday when that rain was coming down, but they came out in droves today, and they're watching the battle for fifth. These are two privateers, privateer veterans, Kyle Lewis and John Dowd. There you saw Sean Hamlin, the Sobe Suzuki team, starting to get into the picture.
And good luck with that roost. He's probably back there going, okay, well, I know I can get up to those guys, but
do I want to?
Yeah, that's going to be triple roost from 3-4 strokes. Here's Lorocco's pass again on Lewis. He just got tired of getting roosted. Finally decided, you know what, I'm just going to knock this guy out of the way and let him know that I'm mean business. He better just back out of it, because Lorocco's one of those guys that won't budge. And he makes actually a little mistake getting back into the line, and Lewis fouled up his timing.
Well, Tortelli, turns out he is back on the track, and you can hear no silencer. You see that bent fender. Tortelli would be moving over to the Suzuki team next year, and maybe ought to change that number.
I mean, call me weird. There goes Hamlin down the inside. Nice move. Call me weird, but that's the first thing I would tell Tortelli. Take 13 off. Like, yeah, it's not unlucky in France. Well, either go back to France or change that dang number, because the bad luck has just continued all year long for him, and I don't see how it could get much worse.
So Hamlin moves into sixth place. Sean Hamlin doing a fine job of upholding the Sobe Suzuki honor. Kevin Windham out for the summer, and Travis Pastrana actually in Indianapolis undergoing surgery on the knee, injured at the Gravity Games, being operated on by Dr. Shelbourne, the famous Dr. Shelbourne, who does a lot of orthopedics. Pastrana hoping to come back by Anaheim, but Sean Hamlin in the meantime carrying the Suzuki banner and doing quite well. Kid's had a lot of pressure on this summer, hasn't he?
He has. But you know what's cool is that I was talking with Roger DeCoster a little while back, and during the break actually before Millville, and he said that Sean's expectations were kind of fluctuating between, man, I want to win, and Roger's going, you got to be more realistic, you know, and it looks to me like he's trying to come back into this and go, okay, before the season's over, I'd like to be able to get on the podium. That is realistic. If he continues to ride like he is right here, he's got a good shot at it.
All right, let me ask you this. Is he slowed down to go faster?
Well, he's probably just changed, you know, how anxious he is and how hard he's trying. And, you know, if you go out there and reality isn't meeting your expectations, it gets in your head and you start to blow it a little bit. Right here, he's just riding within himself and probably having a little bit more fun.
Trying to get around Kyle Lewis. This is the battle for fifth. Hamlin, the green gear on the yellow Suzuki, coming through a whoop section. That's new this year, but it's not a stadium whoop section. Oh, a nice inside move. Wow, that was a lightning strike by Sean Hamlin.
That was slick, and you could see him planning it the whole time because it was so slippery right there. It kind of made it look even cooler, because as soon as he landed off the jump, he just got sideways and fell right into the line he wanted. He almost gets a little shove up over the bars there. He just jumps a bump farther than Dowd to get into the line in front of him, and that was the end of that. No more roost from Dowd.
Now the Lewis pass is what we saw. Watch this at the end of the whoops.
Well, you can see Lewis is already worried about him. Hamlin knew it and just slides right into that berm and does a little square off move. It works perfect. That's beautiful. It'd be hard to do that 2 or 3 times in a row.
Obviously, Hamlin learning a lot in his first year at the factory level. Now, back up to the battle for second. Ramsey leading Ezra Lusk and Mike LaRocco. As they come down the bottom part of the course, you see him trying to stay on the inside, trying to stay out of the goop. But Ricky Carmichael way out front, going for moto win number 21 here at Broome Tioga. It's Carmichael, Ramsey, and Lusk when we come back.
This fall, everything's turning red with Honda's fall values. Check out this deal on some of our ATVs and dirt bikes. 0 down payment and 0 payments for 3 months. And a 7.9% APR for up to 5 years. That's a fixed APR you can count on for real savings down the road. Just one of the many great deals at your local Honda dealer. So hurry in, because right now, Honda's fall values are making everybody look good in red.
A lot can be said about the fact we only use 100% pure beef in our burgers. Usually, a mouthful.
Anyone who loves barbecue knows that chicken's chicken, but the right sauce makes it barbecue. Thick, rich KC Masterpiece with garlic, molasses, onions, and spices. KC Masterpiece, the sauce that makes it barbecue.
New this fall on ABC. He's smarter than he looks.
My name is Jim Prufrock. I'm an agent of the federal government.
He's tougher than you think.
I now intend to make certain you see the inside of a federal prison.
He's in more danger than he knows.
What are you looking for in this town, Jim?
He's a heartbeat from love.
Can I have this dance?
And even closer to destruction.
There's something big happening here.
From Ben Affleck and Sean Bailey, a mystery you can live, $1 million you can win. Push Nevada, Thursdays this fall on ABC.
Play the game.
Best of Kiss. 21 Kiss Classics, only $18.98. Call now, and with your paid order, you'll get this cool Kiss patch free. Rock and roll all night with the all-new definitive Kiss collection. The very best of Kiss. Kistery continues. To order the very best of Kiss with your free limited edition Kiss patch, call the number below or send $18.98 for 1 CD plus $4.95 shipping and handling to the address shown. Rush delivery available. Call now.
When the 1994 250 Nationals reached Broome Tioga, Mike LaRocco was well in control of the point standings. However, John Dowd and Jeff Stanton were each going for the race win. Stanton ran off the track unexpectedly in the middle of the race and left John Dowd to get the moto win. The second time out, it was Stanton again battling with Jeremy McGrath until McGrath, the Supercross champion, came up short on a double, and that would put him back. Next, it was Mike LaRocco's turn to make a mistake, landing on a hay bale off a jump and ruining his chances for the overall win. Once again, it was Dowd and Stanton battling for the win. Stanton, in his last year of professional racing, a couple good hits from the 6-time champion, but Dowd retaliated on the Yamaha and took the overall win, his second of the season and his third in his career. Back to the battle at hand, the 2002 AMA National at Broome Tioga, and Ezra Lusk is now our third-place rider, and Mike LaRocco, that 94 250 National champion, is trying to catch him on the Factory Connection Honda.
You'd think that he would have so much of a power advantage as deep as this dirt is. It's so loamy. You can see how it's sticky down in those ruts. And Lusk can hear him back there coming.
Amazing those guys are doing that downhill double in all those ruts. And right there you saw Lusk get way high over the triple jump. It's got to be tough racing through these combs off the face of these jumps, Dave.
It is. These guys really have, like I said, the line choice is important, and it's changed quite a bit throughout this race. All the ruts that were, you know, just a little bit of a rut, now those are all real deep where they're dragging the foot pegs. These guys are
Lusk goes down right when we were talking about the ruts, David. It looked like he got cross-rutted and right down on his face. Lusk, our third-place rider, is down. You see his handlebars bent. We need to take another look at that.
This is where you really have to put your trust in the flagger, because he is sitting down in the valley of that double jump in a blind spot. Bends the tail section. He broke the handguard off the left side. That bike is really going to be tweaked trying to ride. See him heading up the face of this jump. I think he hits that slick rut right there. Yeah, and he just washes out.
Right on the face of that jump, and you're right. He was down in a terrible spot. LaRocco, fortunately, did not hit him, and now LaRocco has moved into third, and he's right up behind Nathan Ramsey. You see Ramsey have some problems coming out of that corner. Two big 450 Hondas battling for second.
Boy, Kawasaki, Ezra Lusk, he'd have been a four-stroke sandwich right here between these guys. I was just about to say before Ezra went down, LaRocco was pushing him. Ezra was answering that challenge, and the two of them reeled in Ramsey. So Ramsey right now, he's only got one guy to worry about instead of two. And this guy,
can't worry about him. He's gone.
Geez, I mean, I think about the power advantage that those guys have on the four strokes out there, LaRocco and Ramsey, but the 250 is a little bit more nimble, a little bit lighter, and it's easier to throw around, and that power, it just hits right now. And I think Ricky really likes that bike to be able to hit hard and not be as heavy and kind of sink down into that deep dirt.
Up over the triple jump. This is Ramsey still holding off LaRocco. They go through the Supercross section. A little different approach there. Ramsey tripling in, LaRocco doubling through. They come out just about even.
Now LaRocco is going to, once again, he's following a guy that's still clean. And, you know, when you come through the pack like that, he wasn't able to do that double, loses a little time. Anytime he loses some time, he's able to get it right back. But he's come through the pack and found a lot of good lines that he may be able to use on Ramsey down the stretch.
Into the back section, going around a lapped rider. You see Ramsey started it opening up. Maybe LaRocco didn't jump that double because he saw what happened to Lusk, and Ramsey being in front of it missed the whole thing.
Yeah, it's, you know, you really can't take chances out here in the position they're in. They're nowhere near Ricky, and Mike has caught Ramsey. He's just trying to preserve his chance to really, you know, make a run at him here before the race. And if he makes a big mistake like Lusk did, then it's over. So he's just trying to stay in contact, which is a sign of confidence, you know, that he knows he'll get him eventually.
Right there, Ramsey made a mistake. It eventually happened really quick right there, David. You're right on the money with that.
Man, Mike's smart. He's been around a long time. He's won titles, and that flashback we did of John Dowd there, LaRocco won the championship. He's pretty clever. Ramsey's getting there.
LaRocco riding very patiently, picks up 2 spots on mistakes by other riders. Here's what happened to Ramsey.
Gets the back end swaps a little bit. He doesn't get in the line he wants to get into, so he doesn't flow into the berm, hits his leg on the hay bale. All it takes is just a little bit of paddling, and a guy like Mike is all over that. He had to stay close enough to be able to capitalize on it. Like I said, after he lost the time on that double jump, he always seemed to be able to get that back and stay close enough to be able to make a pass like that.
Now back up to the front of the pack, Ricky Carmichael is on the last lap. And here's something you don't see very often. We used to see it often, huh?
Used to happen all the time. That's right in the same section where Stanton went off into the woods. You don't want to go over there. It took Stanton a long time to get his bike out of there because it drops down a steep hill into the woods.
Carmichael leading every lap, but he almost went over the bars right there. But you know what? The gap he's got on second place might not have mattered.
Yeah, he's just ahead of Nick Way, who's really lucky that he's able to still get out there and finish this moto. He hit his head pretty hard.
Carmichael getting ready to do the big triple. This is the last lap, and here's the salute to the crowd. Look at that. No one else in the race even jumping that. Carmichael doing one-handers. You see him looking across the track. He's not looking at our cameraman. He's looking for Mike LaRocco.
You wonder what Nick Way's thinking. Besides ducking for that roost off of Ricky, just looking at him on the last lap when he doesn't need to do a triple that hardly anyone else is doing. He's still doing it one-handed. Nick's probably just feeling like it's a privilege to follow this guy around for a little while.
One more corner to go, and Carmichael takes the checkered flag. 21 motos in a row, absolutely perfect all summer long. He's keeping it going. He's got 3 motos to go for the perfect season. Mike LaRocco, patient in this moto, will take second. Coming in third is Ricky's factory Honda teammate Nathan Ramsey. Made a little mistake there at the end and let LaRocco by, but he holds on to round out the podium.
It's been a long time since Honda lost a race, maybe. I mean, You think about the money they invested in Carmichael, and it was a good move because the rest of the Honda guys have stepped it up as well.
When we come back, we will talk to a motocross icon, Scott USA's Bevo 40.
How many ways can you get on a new Suzuki ATV? During Quad Fair, plenty. Qualified buyers can purchase a new Suzuki Quad Runner and get 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest until April 2003, or low APR financing. Plus, choose a worn winch for only $69.95 or 100 Suzuki bucks good for accessories. Come in and enter the Quad Fair sweepstakes for a chance to win a Suzuki SUV or ATV. There's no better time than Quad Fair. Come in today. Offers end November 30th, 2002.
Question. Why eat processed burger combos when you could have the new KFC 6-piece family value meal for only $7.99?
Did you say 6 pieces of chicken?
Yep, hot and fresh.
Only $7.99.
Precisely. Factor in 3 home-style sides plus 3 flaky biscuits.
Get to KFC and get 6 pieces of original recipe or extra crispy chicken, 3 individual sides, and 3 flaky biscuits for only $7.99. Or feed a big family with a KFC 10-piece feast.
What a deal! What a genius. It's fast food, and then there's KFC.
Officer report. Case number 00.
Bodies that are well developed, well-nourished adult Caucasian female.
The body is open in the usual manner with a Y-shaped incision. The lungs are 910 grams together. The brain is 1,460 grams.
Pericardial surfaces of the 280-gram heart are smooth, glistening, and unremarkable.
It is my opinion that the death of Daniel C. Hurd is due to acute drug intoxication. The only drug present in her system was ecstasy.
Cajun spices, and I put it all together and everything. So I really hope you like it. And the brownies in particular, I went and I got some...
ESPN College Game Day, presented by Discover Card, Saturdays, 10:30 a.m.
Welcome back to Broome Tioga Raceway in Binghamton, New York, where our first moto is in the books. Now might be a pretty good time to take a look behind the scenes with this week's Racer X Pit Pass. Taking a look at our first moto results, of course, Carmichael, LaRocco, and Ramsey, 1, 2, and 3 for Honda, and then Sean Hamlin, a solid 4th on the Sobe Suzuki. 5th place is Kyle Lewis. A little further back down the field, you see Steve Lamson back out there for Husqvarna. Rounding out the top 20, Clark Stiles, who went down in that first turn with Nick Way and Sebastian Tortelli. Now it's time to take a look outside the lines at the family life of motocross. In the sport of AMA motocross, the family is alive and well. One family that few fans get to ever experience, but may typify what national motocross is all about, is the 40 family.
It's, you know, a great American family. You know, what they do with their hospitality is unbelievable. You know, nobody's ever seen anything like it. And somebody wants to sit down and just have family morals, they come over to the Scott bus. You know, that's what it's about. You want to get away from the racing and have fun and laugh and giggle. Come hang out with them.
Everyone is welcome in there, and you know, it's just unbelievable the feeling that you get when you're in there. It's always a positive atmosphere, and they're so willing to give anything and everything that they have, whether it's time or, you know, you don't have any salt and pepper in your motorhome or whatever. They're always right there, and Helen is just a wonderful addition to Bevo, and they've just, you know, have multiplied the things that they do for everyone, and they certainly are motocross.
Bevo 40 has been involved in the sport of motocross since the early 1970s when he was an amateur racer himself.
after 3 years of not qualifying, I decided I might as well be a mechanic. So then I was a mechanic for John Savitsky in Pennsylvania, and we hit the road as privateers, and then all of a sudden we ended up, you know, got to meet some people, ended up getting a job with Yamaha Motors, worked for them for 3-4 years, and then Scott USA. I was talking to John, and he told me you need some more for today, huh? Some more goggles?
Yeah, I need one more set for the qualifiers.
Do you want system, the film system, or just Teros?
Just Teros.
Teros? In other words, you're going to get the whole shot and you're not going to worry about nothing else, right?
Exactly.
Is that it?
That's my goal.
Okay, well, he's going to bring them over, and I'll go, we'll get you all set up. Okay?
Appreciate it.
I think every professional race I've been to, he's almost been there. I mean, I can't remember one that he wasn't. And also Loretta Lynn's, and shoot, you know, wherever there's motocross, there's usually Devo.
I think I had asked him for some stickers, and you know, he gave it to me, but I had done the same thing back then. I was getting bad starts and riding through the pack, and apparently he noticed me, and it's like ever since then he's kind of took me under his wing there, and you know, helped me get my first ride, and you know, from there, since that point on, I've kind of, you know, I've kept that respect that he did for me, and having, you know, when the goggle contract comes around, it's all Scott. That's all I think about.
Bevo 40 and the Scott bus and John, my son, are very important to the riders for the goggles. And I believe with Helen being in the bus, preparing meals and doing a little hospitality, I think it's very important to the industry's stomach.
And Bevo's as well. As the anointed chef du jour, Helen can always be seen preparing meals in the Pete's RV, Scott USA bus, or performing her duty as a motocross mom.
They're all my boys, and their families as well. A lot of times I don't know their numbers or how they've done at the race, but I know their wives' names, I know what the boys like to eat, and I know the things that their kids, what the problems are at home with their kids right now.
Bevo and Helen have 3 sons and 1 daughter. The oldest son, John, is very involved with his dad's business. And recently, a family tragedy gave him the opportunity to shine.
I had an unfortunate loss this year. My brother passed away, and John just took over. You know, in fact, it was kind of cool. That was the day that he stepped out of the back of my shoes and stepped into his shoes, and now everyone respects him for what he does.
It was hard, and I came and did the advice from Scott, came down and helped me out. I mean, everything worked out great. I mean, just happened that week, it ended up being a mud race, so to show him that I knew what I was doing, which was good.
So the next time you're at an AMA National, be sure to take a look at the one family that everyone in motocross feels like they're part of, the 40 family.
I think from the outside looking in, we probably look like a bunch of ruffians, but we're actually not. There's a lot of really good people here. Good-hearted people, kind, generous, compassionate, and I'm sorry that people don't get to see that side of racing always, you know?
When we come back, Ricky Carmichael continues his quest for the perfect season.
Champions ride Hondas, now and in the future. The Honda XRs. They're a head start.
Anyone who loves barbecue knows that chicken's chicken and ribs are just ribs, but the right sauce makes it barbecue. KC Masterpiece Barbecue Sauce. No boring, drippy sauce for meat now. It's got to be thick, rich KC Masterpiece with garlic, molasses, onions, and spices. That's good stuff. Now you can call it barbecue.
KC Masterpiece, the sauce that makes it barbecue. And for other delicious dishes, try our marinades.
I'm Toby Keith.
I'm Alf.
I'm a musician with a very busy schedule.
I'm a couch potato.
I love down-home cooking.
I eat lint.
I make a lot of phone calls.
I don't make that many.
But we both use 10-10-220.
Yeah, there's no monthly commitment.
So you only pay for the calls that you make.
99 cents for all calls up to 20 minutes.
You said it, bud.
Dial 10-10-220, then 1 and the number. I can't find my keys.
It's C. It's right here.
No, my car keys.
Oh.
I'm trying to get out of here.
イチロー、皆さん、イチローよ、絶対今年もね、連続で MVP 取りますよ。イチロー is #1. Anybody complain? No complain. イチロー is #1 よ。絶対今年も MVP と。
Hi, I'm Chris Berman. I'm the best host on TV. I'm the star of ESPN.
NFL kickoff weekend starts with NFL Countdown, Thursday at 6:30 on ESPN.
Welcome back to Bruin Tioga Sports Center in Binghamton, New York. Yes, it's a motocross track, but look at that board, David. It looks like Augusta, doesn't it?
It does, you know, and this is the best the Nationals have ever looked. Top that board, a clock that counts down the time, so the spectators have a really good sense of, you know, how deep they are into the race and how much time riders have left to try to make a run at Carmichael.
And look at that, laps led 308 out of 321 total laps. Carmichael and the Honda way out front. And speaking of Honda, it's time for this week's Honda Tech Tip.
Hi, I'm John Mitchell with this week's Honda Tech Tip. The National Circuit brings us to many different tracks, and this week we're at Binghamton, New York, and it's known for its rocky conditions. So I'm going to show you some of the things we do when the conditions are rocky. First thing we'll do is we'll put hand guards on for the riders. There's been a lot of fingers broken by roost off of other bikes and rocks and stuff. Pretty simple to install. Most all your aftermarket companies that offer hand guards will offer directions and equipment to mount them with. Another thing that we like to do is run a disc guard. Roost off the other bikes will sometimes shoot small rocks and ding the disc, often causing brake problems. So those two things are pretty simple things that we can do for rocky conditions. Another thing that we'll do is we'll put a piece of cell foam up in the brake area to avoid rocks getting up in here like so, and the brake pedal not being able to work. This is a real handy trick that lots of people wish they had done after getting rocks caught up in the brake pedal. Another reason we run cell foam in the skid plate is to keep rocks out of the skid plate, so if you case a jump, sometimes the skid plate can get mashed up into the cases and break the cases if there's a rock in there. This is just some of the things that we do at this track because of the rocky conditions. And I'm John Mitchell with this week's Honda Tech Tip.
Well, taking a look at our Suzuki starting lineup for the second moto, Carmichael, Ferry, Lusk, Tortelli. Tortelli back out there. Also, Nick Way went down that first turn in the first moto, came back through to get 19th place. A tough effort for the Moto XXX Privateer, but he never gave up. Now the car is sideways. They are getting ready to light off the concrete start. See the smoke from the guys getting the tires warmed up. You can hear the bikes, and here they come right up the middle, actually right up to the inside. Of course, it's Carmichael once again. Coming to the outside, you see a rider bounce out. It's Carmichael, Dowd, LaRocco, and it looked like Sean Hamlin with a much better start.
Well, I keep talking about how Carmichael gets these amazing starts against the four-strokes. There's two of them. Four-strokes running second and third, but Hamlin that time lighting it up off the gate.
Get right up in there. Down off the bottom of the hill, Carmichael, your leader. This time, LaRocco is up to third early, but he's got John Dowd between him and the leader. You see some of the guys tripling off that jump. Now they're in traffic. Ezra Lusk is also up to 6, and right there, LaRocco. Nice inside-out move on John Dowd.
Best time to pass people early in the race when they're still thinking about, let's see, the track's different, let me get warmed up properly, and LaRocco was right in there trying to stay with Carmichael in his opening lap, and it's so hard to do. Ricky pulls away so fast. Look at the lead already. It's not even a half a lap, and they don't have a chance to show him a wheel or anything.
Lightning strikes every time Ricky Carmichael comes to an outdoor national. You know, it's been that way since all the way back in February. The last race Ricky really lost on his own, David, was to David Billman at the Indianapolis Supercross. Since then, almost unbeatable, and he's just carrying it all year long.
I'm glad you brought that up, because David Billman is recovering from shoulder surgery over in Europe, and everything seemed to be going along as planned. And Villeman has got a lot of finesse, and that's what I'm starting to see a little bit more in Carmichael now. When he gets these leads, he starts taking his time and looking for better lines and backing out of the throttle here and there just to make the thing hook up a little bit better and not just pinning it all the time and getting squirrely like he used to.
Well, he doesn't have to go as fast as he needs to. Take a look at this replay.
Well, LaRocco's just got this plan. He's going, okay, well, Dowd's committed to that. Boom, up the inside. Dowd makes a mistake and makes it even easier for Mike. Otherwise, that would have been maybe a little contact. And here we do get some contact. Hamlin just knifes it into that berm, kind of stabs it with the front end, loses momentum, and Lusk is right on his tail and almost went down. See the gap back to Lusk now.
Battle for third. You see Hamlin trying an outside line on John Dowd, and he gets down those ruts. That's dangerous. He makes it through okay that time.
Yeah, he had to wheelie through that thing. They'll drag your foot pegs in that stuff. It's like a slot car track all the way up that straightaway. And you know what? Every once in a while, I'm glad they don't go out there and doze all that stuff over. Hamlin just working hard to move up into third spot.
Right in front of the mechanics, Hamlin makes the pass for third, putting the CernixRacing.com KTM of John Dowd back and forth, still top privateer. Lusk is in fifth, and there you see Nathan Ramsey, our third place finisher in the first moto, and he crashed. It looked like he crashed in the same spot. We lost Tim Ferry in the first moto. When we come back, can LaRocco catch Carmichael? We'll see.
The biggest names in motocross and off-road racing have an even bigger name under them. Suzuki. Do you want to be the next big name? Get on a Suzuki RM or DRZ today. Buy a new Suzuki motocross or off-road bike for 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest. Ride for free through March 2003.
Cool to the core.
The ESPN.com players. Hi, Sport. Tough tryout, huh?
Guess I won't be playing football this year.
Well, how about owning a football team?
What do you mean?
Fantasy football on ESPN.com. They've got a live draft, customized player news, injury updates, and a lot more. And there's great prizes for the winners.
Dad, will you be on my team?
You got it, Sport.
Presented by Visa. The Works, 4 channels of HBO to choose from. HBO has blockbuster movies and more outstanding originals than any other channel on TV. HBO 2 delivers more HBO. Choose something different, provocative, compelling. HBO Signature has award-winning films, full documentaries, and your favorites. HBO Family has quality entertainment that's hip, brainy, outrageous. The Works, 4 channels of HBO. Something for everyone.
Want to see the big game with your friends and not have to clean up afterwards? The Buffalo Wing Factory has 10 TVs with NFL game tickets, all day and everyday drink specials, and 30 types of wings and 30 types of beer. And if it's food you want, we specialize in authentic Buffalo-style wings, fingers, including pizzas, subs, and sandwiches. Don't forget about the famous Flatliner wings, the hottest wings on earth. Buffalo Wing Factory has video games for adults, kids, and it's 100% smoke-free. Call us to cater your next event, now with 2 convenient locations on Church Road in Sterling and next to Super Fresh in Ashburn Farms.
Welcome back to the second 250 Moto here at Broome Tioga Raceway in Binghamton, New York. The pursuit of Ricky Carmichael continues on a tough track. Let's go down to the third place member of our team, Cameron Steele.
Well, that's a great illustration of what's going on here at Broome Tioga. The track was so muddy this morning, the course workers here had to push all the mud off the side of the course. But if you look here behind me, the racing line is actually picture perfect in most of the course areas. If you look here, these guys going through really smooth. They're actually picking up a little bit of dust as the riders go over the finish line. Unbelievable what they've done with the course here in Binghamton.
Well, thanks, Cameron. David, I know that cast is fake. He doesn't want to ride at Steel City.
You guys, man, you guys need to have some sort of contest there.
Now, getting back to the action on track, Damian Plotz running in 7th place. And he's got Tortelli battling with Kyle Lewis for 7th. You see Tortelli and Lewis almost come together through the whoops there. Tortelli, of course, on the CR250 on the inside. He makes the pass stick right there. And here comes Lewis on the inside. A lot going on right there.
And Tortelli still gets over that double jump. He's better. He's starting to lose contact there a little bit, and he wanted to make sure he stayed far enough ahead of Lewis. You know, Tortelli's he's just to the point now where he doesn't even want to probably go to these races. So all of his frustration, he's just going to take out on somebody if he gets in a tight situation like he just did.
Well, it's no wonder he's frustrated. Those are and right there, Damian Plotz goes down. Wow. Caught a big braking bump and right into the Thor hay bale.
That's where we saw Mike Brown take a pretty big tumble last year in his battle with Langston. That's a tricky section. Look at Tortelli. He does that Hamblin move, squares it, goes up the inside. Lewis was squared it too, but not quite as sharp as Tortelli gets out there and bumps him just a little bit, going, man, I'm sick of your roost.
See Lewis take a look at his foot peg there. Maybe hurt the bike a little bit. Now watch Plotz.
Oh, he's going to hit something here. It's going to just toss him off, and he goes right into the inside corner marker.
Wow.
Bam.
That should be on SportsCenter.
Takes it in the shoulder. These guys are strong, and, you know, this is the best I've ever seen the Nationals look. You know, looking at the leaderboard and stuff when we came back from break there a while back, and the way that they mark the courses now, it's pretty safe. You know, it used to be...
Oh, right there. No sooner you say that. And that is John Dowd goes down, got out into that soft stuff, and David, right down he went.
Yeah, there's even a cushion where they sent the mud off to the side, so if you do make a mistake and hit something on the side, it's pretty tough to get hurt. The only way that happens is if you get tangled up with a bike or something.
I do agree with what you were saying about the tracks. So the presentation here at Broome Tioga, all through the AMA Chevy Trucks Tour, it's been just awesome. The promoters really stepping it up and trying to help AMA Motocross look as good as it possibly can. Now back up to the front of the pack, Ricky Carmichael out front. This would be his 22nd moto win in a row. And after that, it's just 2 motos to the perfect season, something I thought would never happen. And now back to the battle for 20th. These guys are racing for a single point, and that is Nathan Ramsey working his way back up, and that's Evan Lockridge right in front of him.
You know, Lockridge just fresh off a couple of titles at Loretta Lynn's. I saw him race at Mammoth back in June. I was really impressed. This guy's got a lot of talent, but he's finding out right here how hard it is to get a point in a national. And back there in the corner, I saw the scaffolding move. Looks like somebody got wide, went in there and tagged that thing with a camera guy on it.
There you see it. It was Doug DeHaan. Came off the track behind that battle for 20th between Ramsey and Lockridge, right into our cameraman. Now here's John Dowd's crash.
Just stabs that berm. He has no power, really. He didn't just flow into it. Now Lusk is going, man, if I was by myself, I'd be all right. But I got people in front of me making mistakes all the time.
Speaking about being by yourself, Ricky Carmichael still jumping the downhill triple. You can see the Broome Tioga faithful giving him his props. Carmichael, just brilliant all afternoon long. He has led every single lap. He takes a look over his shoulder. Again, I don't know what he's looking for because there's no one back there.
He's probably just bored, Davey. You know, and you get a lead like this 22 times. It pays off to kind of look over and watch the race a little bit. And it's a good one for third. Hamlin's still holding off Lusk.
Of course, Mike LaRocco very quietly riding second again where he finished in the first moto. Now they come down by the mechanics area. Hamlin on the number 99 Suzuki, the lone wolf for Team Suzuki this year in the 250 class. Lusk trying his best to uphold the Kawasaki honors, and just like that, goes by on the inside. We should mention Lusk's teammate Stefan Roncada. Like Villeman, he is also back in France, and he is also being worked on. Only with Roncada, it's an ankle problem.
He's had a tough season. Seems like he had some momentum going during the Supercross. He had some really good rides, and he was showing the speed. At Hangtown, he was fast. He messed with Ricky. Ricky ended that deal, and he hasn't done anything since.
And I'm hearing Roncada will be a Suzuki rider next year. Nothing official, but Roncada probably going yellow. Hamlin probably dropping down to the 125 class to join Brandon Jessamine and Danny Smith on that part of DeCoster's attack. Now Lusk coming through. This is where he fell earlier. He's back up jumping that first moto. We saw him crash. Here's the pass.
Well, Ezra just kind of bullied Hamlin out of the way. He just kept working on him and working on him, and he had so much pressure on him. Hamlin just came into that corner a little too hot. He couldn't quite lean in there, and he knew even if he did, Lusk He was just going to lean in on a green front fender, decided to go straight.
Hamlin, though, he's learning lessons every time, and he could learn some from this guy if he could just get him in sight and keep him there for a little while. Carmichael out front and just carving up this Broome-Tioga track.
He looks great, Davey, and he's able to do it from pretty much anywhere he wants to on the racetrack. He's changed his lines here and there, and that's another new line right there, going around the brake and bump. And he gets such a big lead, I wouldn't be surprised if Honda actually used these races to do some testing.
We'll be back for the finish in a moment.
This is Silverado Heavy Duty. The most powerful heavy-duty pickup you can get. Silverado Heavy Duty. More truck from Chevy.
Anyone who loves barbecue knows that chicken's chicken, but the right sauce makes it barbecue. Thick, rich KC Masterpiece with garlic, molasses, onions, and spices. KC Masterpiece, the sauce that makes it barbecue.
A lot can be said about the fact we only use 100% pure beef in our burgers. Usually, a mouthful.
This is your own personal assembly line, where deals are made just for you. Like this week's special, the compact Presario 6000 TPC. It's got an Intel Pentium 4 processor that delivers performance where you need it most. You'll also get a monitor, built-in networking card, and right now, a free CD burner or DVD upgrade. And it's just $7.99. So call 1-800-331-0403, and we'll line one up for you.
It's gonna be physical, it's gonna be tough. Who can make a play? I can. The Giants. The 49ers. Football's back. We've waited all year for this. NFL kickoff weekend begins Thursday on ESPN.
Speedworld's presentation of AMA Motocross is brought to you by Honda, the company that defines performance in motorcycles, ATVs, and scooters. Honda, performance first. And by Suzuki, maker of innovative motorcycles and all-terrain vehicles. Well, there you see Ricky Carmichael rolling towards what would be his 22nd moto win in a row. And David, check it out. He's not even wearing handguards.
Confidence. You know, I'll tell you what, when we look at that Honda Tech Tip, those handguards are pretty trick. I remember racing here and having like milk jugs cut in half, you know, and it changes just changing the front fender. The bike feels like it steers different. You know that. I mean, you've ridden a lot of different bikes, and you know, to a bike like a KTM that has a really different front fender to a Honda where it's a big swooping fender, and you put handguards on there, and it just changes the way the bike feels. And if you're uncomfortable out there, then get the whole shot and don't get roosted, I guess.
There you see LaRocco, he's in second, and he does have the handguards on. And he's actually keeping Ricky a little honest, kind of close this moto, but time is running out. We're on the last lap, and there you have it, Ricky Carmichael. Another little salute to the crowd. He's going to go up to the outside, and then he's going to hit the triple. There it is. Down the hill, all by himself, a one-handed salute. Carmichael on his way to the 11th straight national win of this season, 14th straight going back to 2001, 22 moto wins in a row. There's so many records. I don't believe he even has enough room in the Honda truck to take them all back to California.
Now, he's on such a roll now, David. Even when he just kind of slows down, he still does stuff amazing.
There's the checkered flag, putting everyone once again out of their misery. Ricky Carmichael takes the moto win. Now back to the battle for fourth. This is Hamlin trying to hold off Dowd, and he doesn't have much further to go. He will finish fourth in the moto behind LaRocco, who is second, Lusk, who is third, and there is Hamlin taking fourth. Looking at the results again, Carmichael, of course, out front. John Dowd doing a good job of getting up from that crash to place fifth in the moto. John Sebastian Wall, 7-6 on the day. Kyle Lewis dropping back to eighth. And Lamson coming up through to 14th place after that early crash. Now, let's go to Cameron.
Mike, a great performance in moto number 2. You come with the 2nd place. You get a great start. You're not known for your starts, but today you seem to have them together.
Yeah, I was trying to give myself a shot. I mean, Ricky's I haven't seen him for like 5 weeks, so I wanted to get a start and just try to race with him a little bit, but he still got away from me. I've been trying to learn to pick it up so I can get that pace up, but maybe next week.
So you see the speed he's going, you know you can get the speed. What's it going to take to make that little step? With the start today, you were there, you had the opportunity, but what is it that you have to do to get over that hump?
He's just riding a little more aggressively than I am, and I'm just not hanging it out as tough as he is, and that's pretty much the difference. I mean, at this level, if you take an extra step, I mean, you probably benefit from it, and I'm trying. He's comfortable doing it, and I'm not quite there, but you know, like my CR Amsoil 450F worked awesome. You know, my Doc Martin's team, and I'd like to thank my trainer for getting me back to where I need to be physically. You know, Dan Pierce, and just go from there.
Taking a look at our point standings, Carmichael 550 points, unbelievable total. He's 154 ahead of Ferry, and then comes Lusk. And speaking of Lusk, let's go back to Cameron.
Well, Ezra, as I walked up here, I heard you having some words with Randy Lawrence. You guys talking about maybe next week already. What's going on with you guys?
Well, you know, he's already threatening to me, and I'm not even back at the truck yet. He's been tough on me this year. He's been really trying to get me to get back in the groove. He knows where I was at one time, and that's what we're shooting for. You know, racing for second is cool at this point, but we got to get up front.
You look pretty aggressive out there. Good pass on Sean Hamlin. You feel comfortable. You really seem to be in a rhythm.
Yeah, you know, I was, but just today I was off. I didn't really hit everything good. None of the ruts. I really felt like I flowed. And once I got in the third there, Mike was about 6 seconds up there, and I tried, but you know, I just wasn't feeling it. So I just decided, you know, third to be all right today.
Well, there you see the fans giving Ricky Carmichael one last salute. Just part of history at this point. Carmichael still has the perfect season going. One more race to go, and he'll do something that's never been done in motocross history on either side of the Atlantic Ocean. There you see the final result. Sean Hamlin is 4-4, good for his first ever national podium, and he's with Cameron right now.
Well, guys, this definitely has to be the feel-good story of the day. Sean Hamlin going 4-4 for his first podium in the 250s as a factory Suzuki rider. Sean, it's got to feel good.
Yeah, you know, I can't explain it. It's a dream come true, and you know, I've told myself that I can do it, and finally I've achieved something that I want.
Talk about where you came from at the beginning of the season. I mean, fans that don't know you, they had no idea who you were coming into the season. I had no idea really who you were. Talk about how it's gone rags to riches.
It's been good, you know. I was thinking about quitting a couple months ago, and now I'm up here doing what I'm doing, and I have nobody else to thank but Suzuki and Roger DeCoster, everybody, you know, Michelin tires hooking up great, and everybody just thanks a lot for everything. I really appreciate it.
David, Sean Hamlin's a great story. They ought to make a movie about that kid.
Yeah, you know what? They should probably wait a little bit, though, because I have a feeling it's going to get a lot better.
Let's go back to Cameron.
By going 1-1 today, Ricky Carmichael not only moves to 22 wins on the season, he ties Bob Hanna's outdoor 250 national win mark. Ricky Carmichael, the records just continue to fall.
I tell you, Cameron, things are going good. The Honda's running good. My mechanic, Chad Watts, is doing a stellar job all year, and especially the track promoters here at Binghamton. It was pretty bad yesterday. You know, the track was really muddy, and I just can't believe how good the track turned out and how good the year has been. It's just awesome.
The track is good.
The antics of the dog moving along the shoreline in their flashy display lures the waterfowl in the gun range. When the hunter stands up and flushes the waterfowl and downs the game, the dog is sent out to retrieve the game. He's got a blaze of white up his forehead here, and you'll notice his chest is white. He's got a white tip tail, as you'd expect to see on a red fox. They're a sturdy breed. They work well upland as well as in the water. Yeah, bird. I think the great thing about the Toller is the breeding and the standard is tightly maintained by the Nova Scotia Duck Tolling Retriever Club of America, and they try and promote all areas of the breed as well as a family, hunting, show, and obedience dog. Come here, hold, give, shake. Good boy.
An improbable championship concludes in Italy.